Hello everybody! I hope you all made it into the new year alright. I've had a cozy New Year's Eve and didn't do much beyond cuddling with the kitties and watching some shows. One of the best ways to get a new year started, if you ask me, and I needed a bit of a break anyway. As the turn of the year approached, I, like many others, have been reflecting a lot on last year and set some goals for the immediate-ish future. In just a few words, I'd describe last year as one that strengthened the foundations for what I want to do this year. And before we get into that, let's talk about the drawing and the background. Almost 10 years ago, I drew this piece of Kyo standing in a desert with her back to the viewer. She was holding two shashkas in reverse grip as shadows encroached on her, and this piece kind of kickstarted the current iteration of the illustrated novel I'm currently working on. It's changed a lot since. After all, it's been almost 10 years. And Kyo herself has gone through several iterations for her design as well. But some core ideas are still here. I thought what better way to start up 2025 than to redraw this old piece in a way that the scene could happen in the novel's current state. So we again have Kyo standing there with a sword, not in reverse grip this time, because I learned that that's bad. There are wraiths coming at her from different directions and she's less hesitant, showing them that she means business. The scene takes place in a forest, since that makes more sense for the current version of the story, and I very much hope to be able to share it in more detail with you in the nearish future. Well, let's move on to get some closure for 2024. I had great plans for the year and none of them really came to fruition. My main problem was that I wanted too much without laying out the groundwork. Mostly, I wanted to have my illustrated novel drafted, have 2 videos a month to post to YouTube, and also finish a short comic. Needless to say, none of those worked out. There are several issues with those goals. Regarding the illustrated novel, I was lacking a proper outline. I had also exhausted my capacity for stringing words together coherently with NaNoWriMo the year prior, so I was stuck in limbo with this project for a while. I used that time to get to know the characters that aren't Kyo a bit better, and I made many a thought dump. I've begun a better outlining process, and I'm still busy with that one. So for 2025, my goal is draft my illustrated novel. Yes, it's basically the same, but I have more of the foundational work done, or I'm still in the process of doing them. I've also managed to cultivate a better writing routine. I'll have to put in more time eventually, but I want to gradually up the ante, unless I feel a great burst of inspiration and motivation. Now, YouTube. I have to admit, I have a rather love-hate relationship with this platform and, well, the format. Videos aren't my strong suit, my editing is basic and my voice isn't a great one. I want to improve in that regard, learning better editing, and maybe look into ways for better public speaking so the microphone has an easier time picking me up in a way that I like. But before I get into any great leaps and bounds here, I want to get more regular again. I've adopted a schedule of a new long video every first Monday of the month. Insert laughs here, it is Wednesday. And the other Mondays get shorts. I found it working out alright in the past couple of months, but there are still a lot of things I can do better on my end to make the process a smoother one. That means for 2025 the goal is regular videos on YouTube, and if there's time and brainpower left over, improve editing and learn to yap better. The other thing with YouTube I want to continue doing in 2025 is keep up with regular live streams. Those have been working out alright so far, and I think that will happen nicely. The last leftover goal from 2024 was the short comic. My thought process here was, I have a finished webcomic. There were times where I drew 3 to 4 pages a week. This should be doable in a year. But things are different now than they were while I was working on Soul's Journey. For one, my webcomic was in a much simpler style, so pages didn't take as long to complete, unless I got distracted a lot. And comics used to be my labor of love. But since Soul's Journey saw a steady decline in readership over the last couple of years of its run, I got in a bad headspace about comics. So nowadays, comics simply aren't a priority for me anymore. I've relegated it to the bench, and it has mostly become a thing I work on while streaming. That amounts to maybe 3 hours of work on it every other week, resulting in a very slow pace of new pages. The other reason work on it has been slow is that nobody really knows about it. I've not talked about it much beyond working on pages on stream, or a quick mention here and there in social media posts, and part of me is hesitant to do something about that. I think the experience with Soul's Journey is still very much in my bones, so I've wrestled with this one a lot, and I feel I need to take the pressure out of this one. I'll continue working on it in 2025, but I'll also keep a slower pace for now. If I feel like it, I can think about setting up a website for it in summer. Otherwise, I'll just tattle along with it. The comic story has the advantage of being a prequel to my illustrated novel, so there's a lot of time to complete it. If I have it done by the time I'm ready to think about publishing the novel, that'll be enough. And that's not going to happen before 2027, I think. In other words, no need to stress now. And that finally brings me to new goals. As in, ones I haven't carried over from previous years. I think these are mostly self-explanatory, so I don't think I need to spend too much time on them. Let's start with the art and art business related goals. I want to draw more OC art. Because if I don't let the world see them, the world cannot care about them. I've kind of hidden away Q and Co for years. There would be occasional art of them, but while still working on my webcomic Soul's Journey, I didn't want to start another big project. You know, get one thing done before fully diving into another. And then I needed to figure out how to piece those snippets of story together before I felt qualified to talk about these characters. Well, that's all done now, mostly. And I can shout about them. I should shout about them now. I also want to level up my background game by finally learning Blender. I tried it with the donut failed me. I've got a pretty well-structured course in mind, I just need the time to sit down and pull through with it for a handful of days. I started with the first video in the course and already made a table, but there's more to learn, so much more. And I probably forgot all these shortcuts again. The thing is, I don't want to texture or realistically light or animate in Blender. I just want to build sets and model some things to help me over time. So this shouldn't be too hard. And you know, those are the famous last words. Maybe I should make a video on my progress and then scramble a couple of days before the deadline to learn everything. It's been known to happen. I'm not making any growth goals for my platforms. I'm notoriously bad at judging what will resonate with people and what won't. Mostly things don't resonate with people. And I keep pushing myself for a couple of weeks and then fall into a rut with posting things again. So I feel that setting goals like that are just a stepping stone for taking myself out of the internet and retreating to a secluded forest for that hermit life. However, there are some things I can do to help myself along. For one, the quarterly newsletter. The next issue is due in March, and you can sign up for that one with the link down in the description. It gives you a code for a free digital item from my shop upon sign up. Just be advised, the shop is currently closed while the day job keeps me busy. It'll reopen in March though. Then there's the monthly mail club, for which Ko-fi members of the Just a Simple mailer tier get a monthly A5 art print and 3 to 4 stickers. I feel I'm perpetually behind on those, given that it would be better to have all the art finished before the month even starts. And I keep completing the art the month they're due. So I guess I resolved to get better with managing that time. And then there's vending at shows. I took a break from shows in 2024 since I missed application windows for a lot of them in 2023. When I was stuck in a major rut. I've kept up with dates for some shows in the area and applied to them. I've got 1 confirmed and 2 still up in the air at the moment, as well as 1 that hasn't opened applications yet, so we'll see how that goes. I'd love to improve my table setup as well, and that might be another video worth doing. For my personal goals, I only have indulge in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and read 30-ish books again. They aren't spectacular, but you know, I have so much I want to focus on already. I also need to take it easy in some ways. And that brings me to the end of this mixture of reflecting on 2024 and looking ahead at 2025. Did you reach all your goals in the old year? What are you hoping to accomplish in 2025, big or small? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.